This week has been full of some crazy cruise stories. Not only do we have the biggest ship in the world making it to Miami, but there have been some wild stories of cruise passengers doing things that we need to talk about. Ahoy travelers, it's Amy here with your weekly Cruise News Roundup and my thoughts on some of the biggest stories of the week. Probably the biggest story of the week is the highly anticipated Icon of the Seas making it to its new home port of Miami. On the way, the Icon stopped at Royal's private island, Coco Cay, at the new adults-only hideaway beach for a party for the crew. Now, I know it was probably really good advertisement for the line to do this, but I think throwing a crew party while the ship is empty and heading to her home port is a great idea. It's great to do things for the crew. More lines should be doing this, even if it's just a party on the ship itself. While not every new ship has a Chris Wong or Erica from America on them with large followings, many crew will still post clips from the party and ship to their social media accounts that help tease the ship. It's great promotion. The Icon of the Seas maiden voyage is scheduled for January 27th, and prior to that, she will be making several test cruises with various officials and media. Following its maiden sailing, the Icon will operate week-long Caribbean voyages sailing round trip from Miami. Destinations include Costa Maya and Cozumel in Mexico, Phillipsburg, St. Martin, and Roatan, Honduras. The Icon of the Seas is the new largest ship in the world by 9 feet. If you have a Roku TV or streaming device, you may have noticed something new floating across your screen. Disney Cruise Line has partnered with Roku's streaming platform to advertise the newest ship in their fleet, the Disney Treasure. And this is part of Roku's screensaver service. According to the company, 85% of Roku subscribers have watched the screensavers scroll by as they take streaming breaks. Now, I don't have a Roku, but I know my Fire TV often goes into standby mode when I pause a show for too long. I can only imagine how seeing scenes teasing some of the spaces and activities on board the Treasure would cause people to pause and watch for a while. Not a bad way to advertise a new cruise ship. While we're on the topic of Disney, there has been some grumblings in the cruising ducks community due to information coming out that Disney Cruise Line is nixing the ducks. If you have never heard of cruising ducks, it's a very popular activity of bringing ducks to hide around the ship. Usually rubber ducks, but the practice is definitely transformed, and I like to hide keychains and magnets that I make. Some people will bring hundreds of ducks to hide, and others spend part of their cruise searching for these elusive treasures. Some in the community have definitely been upset by the rumor that Disney isn't going to allow the hiding of ducks anymore. However, it does seem like the information originated from a Disney fan blog and not from any official Disney source. If you're a fan of Disney and hiding ducks, it seems that you're safe for now. I love giving thoughts on some of the controversies that pop up throughout the week. And this week, we have had several. And there's one I want to discuss, but before I get to it, if you're finding value in this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Did you know that hitting that subscribe button doesn't cost you a thing? It really helps our channel out though, and it lets YouTube know that you like our content. Hit the notification bell so you will be notified when new videos drop so you don't miss any future posts. Earlier this week, Carnival Ambassador John Heald posted a complaint from a cruiser that I just couldn't believe. Hey, just got my monthly cell phone charge through and there are $470 worth of charges for my cruise on Carnival Cruises Freedom. Someone told me, the elusive someone told me that the cruise line should be responsible because nobody told us that we should have the phone in airplane mode or off. All he did was play games on the phone. Now, I love that they forget the whole step of explaining what they're talking about here, but we assume that this person's son was playing games. All he did was play games on the phone. My complaint is this. Nowhere on the ship does Carnival highlight that there will be extremely high prices for using data at sea and exactly what that cost is. Well, first of all, they couldn't tell you how much the cost would be because it's going to depend on your coverage and the company you have your coverage through. Now, and then they say the reason for this, the reason why Carnival doesn't tell anybody is because then no one will use the service. One thing I do know is Carnival, they know this. One thing they know this. One thing I do know is that Carnival must be getting paid very well for this service at the expense of their passengers, and they try to be a covert as I think they mean as covert as possible with the pricing structure. Really, people, read through your stuff if you're going to make an ass of yourself for complaining. At least don't make it worse by using bad grammar and spelling. We should be compensated. We spent whatever dollars on the cruise. Nobody cares. You should be worried about losing face with me and everyone reading this if no compensation is given. People, please learn the difference between the word lose and loose. Two different words, spelled two different ways. Don't make yourself look dumb, please. Now, I have heard some doozies over the years, but this one really got to me. It's the combination of the lack of responsibility, taking responsibility, and the arrogance of thinking that someone else should have to deal with this person's mistake. Now, John Heald was pretty nice in his response. He always is. That must have been quite a shock to get home and have that bill. I'm sorry that we cannot compensate for this. I'm guessing that your son was doing online gaming and had not downloaded the internet and used the cellular network. I don't know if he meant downloaded the game from the internet or if he meant that they didn't purchase the internet package from Carnival, but I cannot agree. We are being covert and we do not get paid by the telephone companies. I do, though, want to ask those reading this if you think we could do a better job in letting people know about this kind of thing, or is it something you're mostly aware of? Thoughts, please. Cheers. Now, while John Heald doesn't point out that Carnival does actually warn passengers to put their phones in airplane mode, the comment section sure did. Our cruise director said airplane mode throughout our whole cruise. Even the Hub app tells you to put it on airplane mode. And it does. When you first log into the Hub app, Carnival's app, it will tell you to put it in airplane mode. Even if in some of my cruise documents, it said something about airplane mode. That person just didn't listen nor read anything. It's not Carnival's fault that you didn't pay attention, nor is it their fault that you didn't do your own research beforehand. And that's the key for me, doing your own research. Now, this was one of the most liked comments, and there were many others that said the exact same thing. Basically, this person was lambasted for not paying attention to all the times they were told to put their phone on airplane mode. As someone who researches everything, I cannot understand how someone wouldn't have come across this tidbit of knowledge prior to getting on board a ship. The idea of doing something like cruising without ever having read an FAQ page on a cruise line website is just insane to me. If this is your very first cruise, you've never cruised before, then what? Look into it. Things are going to be different. It's different vacation than what you're used to. But even if someone completely ignores every announcement telling them to put their phone in airplane mode, the arrogance to blame the cruise line instead of just manning up and admitting you made a mistake, just wow. And then to go so far as to say that Carnival has some backdoor deal with cell phone providers to fleece their cruisers is crazy. Carnival would lose out money doing that. There's no way they would get enough kickback that it would be more profitable than people buying their internet packages, which are expensive. And I did go on and look at Carnival's FAQ page because I knew it had to be on there, and sure enough it is. It was like in the general section, and then underneath that was information about the internet. It says, once on board, turn on airplane mode and connect to Carnival Wi-Fi. By using airplane mode in settings, you avoid roaming fees charged by your carrier. Not to mention how many times every cruise YouTuber has mentioned this. What do you think? Have you or someone you know ever forgotten to turn their phone on airplane mode? I want to know about it. Talk to me in the comments. Now, if you saw my post yesterday, you will see that I finally had to upgrade my laptop. I had a MacBook Air that I called my STEMI computer because I bought it with the money from the $1,400 stimulus check we all got back during the Rona days. At the time, I wasn't doing anything that needed a lot of processing power, and I was able to get that model for almost the exact amount of the stimulus check. Win-win at the time. Fast forward to deciding to start a YouTube channel, and I quickly found that I just couldn't edit and render videos efficiently. Rendering a video at 1 to 2 frames a second takes a long time. Plus, if the video was very long at all, the computer would often freeze up. I tried to do an inexpensive workaround, fairly inexpensive, it was less than $200, by building an external solid state drive and putting the editing program and all my video files onto it. Now, I helped somewhat. I went all the way up to rendering videos at a lightning fast 10 to 20 frames a second, although it was usually closer to 10 than 20. I think one time it hit like 50-ish around there for like a few minutes. That was a nice day. Then I worked with someone on teaching them how to edit videos and saw how fast their MacBook Pro was. And it wasn't even like a high-end one. It was just kind of like baseline MacBook Pro. Plus the editing process was so much smoother. I realized how handicapped I'd truly been. So last week I started having problems with the data cable that hooked the laptop to that external SSD. So I had to order a new one. However, while waiting for the new cable to come in, I had so many issues trying to get out Tuesday's video that I gave up and just ordered a new MacBook Pro. It isn't the top of the line, but it isn't the bottom either. And I'm eager to work on this video as soon as I get through recording it. I'll try to remember to report back next week for anybody who cares. I did make another big purchase this week. I used money from some Amazon gift cards I had, and I paired it with points that I'd been saving up to get an Insta360 camera. I can't wait to take it with me when we get on the Jubilee at the end of the month. If you haven't subscribed, now's the time to do so. You won't want to miss out on the videos that I have planned around the new Carnival Jubilee. Well, are you ready for more information on cruising? Why not stick around and check out this video and then come back for more information designed to help you have an amazing cruise. Have a blessed week, everyone.